Okay, these people I want you to talk in front of you. Put it for BBC News too.
Yeah, it might end up there.
Like the Queen and the...
So do you guys want to say something about?
I would say something.
All right, so these are subscribers in New York, Toronto, and London, and they want to hear directly about what is happening in Guyana and why we're protesting.
We are protesting because we have a Minister of Finance and a government with heart of stone and an empty brain.
Oh, this is my day. I'm ready to take it on, come what may.
So today we're at the protest against VAT at the Ministry of Education on Brickdam. That's the Ministry of Education building, and these are the protesters. On Brickdam in front of the Ministry of Education building at 29 Brickdam. So that is Ministry of Education. And these are the protesters. On a Wednesday afternoon. In fact, it's about 12:45 in the afternoon. And these protesters are demonstrating against the application of value-added tax. The Government of Guyana has recently decided to impose a 14% tax on tuition at private schools in Guyana, but not at public schools. And these people are arguing that private schools are necessary because public schools are not adequate. The government says if you can afford private schools, then you can afford to pay value-added tax, and this is what has led to the protest for the last month or so in Georgetown. And this is a sentiment that is held across the board. It's not just private school students and parents, but everybody thinks that imposing a value-added tax on education is a bad idea. So let's see what the protesters have to say for themselves. Alright, so let's join the protesters and see what they have to say about the imposition of value-added tax on education in Guyana. Do you want to talk? Talk to my subscribers about value-added tax? Do you want to talk to my subscribers? Do you want to talk to my subscribers? Is he still doing it?
Which one? The offshore one?
The offshore one?
I don't know the difference.
Okay, these people I want you to talk in front of you. Put it for BBC News too.
Yeah, it might end up there.
Like the Queen and the...
So do you guys want to say something about?
I would say something.
Alright, so these are subscribers in New York, Toronto, and London, and they want to hear directly about what is happening in Guyana and why we're protesting.
We are protesting because we have a Minister of Finance and a government with heart of stone and an empty brain. How you can come out, just click your finger and wake up one day and say, okay, we need money and we're gonna VAT education. You have a broken down system in education as a public system. Persons are trying to put their children to get a quality education by sending them to private schools, squeezing their own pocket or something, even buy toothbrush after 3 months. With the dentist, I change the toothbrush every month.
All right,
To give their children a proper education. You telling me you just wake up like that one day, man, you don't have a heart, you don't have a mind.
so I think most people are in agreement that VAT on education is a bad idea because
It is.
it undermines the growth of the economy, which is based on educating all our citizens.
Exactly.
And the problem, of course, is that the public education system is not adequate for all Guyanese, and which is what makes
Correctly said.
private education
Necessary. Yes.
So, why are they imposing VAT on private education and not public education?
That is what my point is. Why? And they need to answer
Because
us.
the public is free. But we cannot send our children to the public school. The grenade is going
Why?
to the school.
That is what I'm saying. A
They're
man
having
in his
sex the
correct
school.
sense would never
How
do
can we
that.
send our children to public school?
It comes to the question now of their trusting the public education system because not one of their grandchildren or children is in the public education system.
Right, so you think it's because nobody is being affected personally who's imposing the VAT?
Exactly. Look, you look in the newspaper. You see one child found a grenade in a public school. How he got the grenade is the next question.
Another child kill another child.
The other question is how the child got the grenade. So then you see the government only thinking about making money and they don't care about anything else. It's a clear point, right?
All right,
It's a
so-
clear point.
Everybody agrees that there should not be VAT on education, but the government says that it needs to close the gap in its earnings from taxes. So where should the money come from?
They have other avenues that money can come from. The Minister of Public Security wants you to stop drinking and driving. Tax alcohol, you would have a reduce in that and still make more than $350 million annually.
Okay, this
Tax
is true.
tobacco, you're going to reduce the risk of cancer.
This is true.
You're and you're not going to have to put so much investment in the health sector, and you would have a reduced.
Actually, I
you
think
would get
in the
you would
US
get more income.
In the US, our New York subscribers would know that tax on cigarettes is used to fund education, as well as the lottery system in most of the United States, is used to fund education. So there are alternative ways of raising money for
Yes, there is alternative ways in raising
the
money.
government
Yes,
to
yes.
fund education.
Yes, and you would raise double and triple time the amount of $350 million estimated by the Ministry of Finance.
So when is the tax on education going to be brought into effect?
It's already in effect.
So
And
that
some
means that-
schools is who already paid
It's already
is already implemented in school system as of February 4th. Who paid before that were exempted. Who going to pay
Who paid
now
before that still have to pay the tax.
gonna pay.
Okay.
Everybody have to pay the tax.
Comrade is not something easy for poor people in this
How
country.
come the previous government didn't tax education?
We are rated
but we
below
had a blooming
Haiti,
economy?
and you're gonna put 14% tax, which we got on something that could develop this country.
So has anybody in the government responded to the protest?
Well, to my attention,
No.
we wrote the minister a few weeks back, and they responded by saying that there would be a delegation led by the Minister of Education to meet with us. When and date set, we don't know. As of this morning in the news, there was that the delegation would be meeting with us on Friday. I'm not sure what would be the outcome of this meeting at the National Culture Center.
So this is coming Friday coming.
Friday coming at the National Culture Center. But
Also has some meeting tomorrow.
be it
where-
consultation or not, there's anything to consult about VAT on education, because in the first place, why you put VAT on education and now you come in and consult with the people? It doesn't make any sense. So that is why we are out here today, and we will be out here until it is passed in the parliament that this thing is removed.
So how hopeful are you that there will be a change, and how soon do you think the change will be?
Well, I'm not sure with the snail pace movement of the government. I'm not sure how fast it will move, because we got a set of pensioners in there So I'm not sure as to how fast are we going to move, if we're going to get some wheelchair or something to get them moving.
All right.
Thank you very much. By the sunshine and washed by the rain.
You can know when you got there.
Between mountains and seas, your children salute you, dear land of the free.
Real free?
It's back to the days of slavery, where the white man ruled.
Apparently white man let it rule we back then. That's all.
There you have it, folks. That was the protest on value-added tax on education in Guyana, and the protesters are vowed to return to this location to protest every Wednesday until change is effected.